Hello, this is Hi Bob Warbob, and let's play some Ultimate General Civil War. Hello, and welcome back to Ultimate General Civil War. We are going to be playing the UI rebound, just UI mod, not the rebalance mod still. And we're playing Seven Pines today, and I have Something Compass here with me.
Hey, good to be here. Really enjoyed that Shiloh battle. That was a lot of fun. So let's see what you do here. And this is the right answer. Yeah, bring infantry. That's the right answer. I think in my legendary version, I brought some artillery in.
Which is fine. I mean, doesn't hurt anything.
Nah, you want to get the XP on the largest number of men.
Oh yeah, well that part is definitely true.
So this is a fun little side battle.
Yeah, I mean, I really like that they have good guns, I think, on your allied units. I think they have good guns. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think they do. And I always try to get the artillery out of there because sometimes your allied units just get run over and rout. And the other thing, for those who've not played this many times, that unit on the far right, Hal, if he routes, sometimes for some reason he routes to the far upper left corner of the map, like in that, like it's the wrong direction. Why he doesn't route, to the right, I have no idea, but he routes off to the left.
I mean, that's the secret to, breaking out skirmishers and stopping charges.
Yes.
Because it's the charges that kill you.
I don't think I knew that trick when I played Legendary. Yeah, if you don't stop those charges, he's going to charge right into those units and break them. He's hyper aggressive.
I think he might not even stop his charge like right off the bat whenever I do it, but then I finally get him to calm down once I do something. I don't remember what it is that I have to do. Oh no, he just stops right off the bat. No big deal.
Yeah, that's a great mechanic. I don't think I knew that mechanic when I played this on Legendary.
Yeah, it's a little... Oh, this guy doesn't stop. That's what it is. Not right off the bat, at least.
Oh, yeah, that guy looks like he's on his... Yeah, he looks like he's not going to stop.
I'm just like, oh, really? Come on, man. But, there's another option. You just run away. And then you break off your skirmishers, put them back away to, because he was aiming at the skirmishers instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Totally balanced.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever gotten those guys to not pile into that unit. So, yeah, this is normal. Here they come against that guy. Usually I have that guy fall back right away from the beginning, knowing that everybody's coming. Like you said, detached skirmishers.
Yeah. I got caught up in the fact that the other one was having trouble and kind of forgot about this side. But everything worked out just fine, so it's fine.
Yeah, in fact, really good. He took the shots, and now your units are going to get to shoot.
Yep.
So that's just about perfect. So he looks like he's coming in about 1,800. Your allied units are nice size, about 1,900, and of course your units are 2,500 because you put 2 perks into army organization.
Which is amazing to have that big of units at this point. Abercrombie lost his skirmishers already, but it's fine. Here,
I'm surprised. The Lorenz routed. I wonder what he got hit by.
Oh, this is this run? Is this my best run? I guess it was. He turned his flank, basically. Straight up to the guys that are on the flag. I thought I'd bring him in to the side there, and that was a bad idea. That does not work.
My guess is he was just a little bit too far south.
No, like way too far south. You can't march somebody up beside that unit on this side of the river. Like, you have to, like, either be north of the river or, like, because look at that guy. That guy's right there, and he was like marching like south of the river.
Oh yeah,
It's like that, no sense whatsoever.
yeah. Because when you started him off running, you
Yeah.
couldn't see that guy.
No.
Well, he may not even have been there. He may have come running forward.
Yeah,
So-
but it was bad. It was very bad. That was not the best move for that guy. I mean, he lost 100 men and got 3 kills
Yeah, he got hammered.
or something like that. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. Very bad. I definitely made a mistake. Big mistake there. So, once again, we can play the game.
Mhm.
How many losses did I take in this battle?
How many
Before
did I
medicine
take?
and then after. Well, which one is this? Oh, this is
7 pines.
7 Pines. I'm not sure if I even have it written down somewhere, so I don't even know.
I don't think you're going to lose very many here. I'm looking at these enemy units. They're 1 star, most of them. They're like 1,700, and doesn't have that much artillery. I don't think you're going to lose. And you only have 6 units, so you're probably going to lose 1,500. Nah, I don't even think you're going to lose 1,500 here on your guys.
On my guys. 7 Pines. Total
1,000.
losses.
1,000, 1,200.
1,450 total.
After medicine, let's see, you have 6%.
4% still.
Oh, okay.
It's about 2, 3. Okay, so like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About 700. Give or take. I'll have to count it up to be exact on it, but that's an approximate number. Just kind of looking over the approximate losses.
So total losses after medicine, about 700?
Yeah, probably
Wow.
750 or so.
Wow.
And 100 of them were right there for no
Yeah.
reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
And another amount of them were on that Lorenz taking that shot whenever he shouldn't have, because the other Lorenz should have been there with him to shoot that guy at the same time. So, yeah, not the brightest move there.
But it all worked out.
It all
700
worked out.
in this battle is terrific.
Yeah. So about 700 losses on allies and 700 losses on mine. Give and take.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy. Just
Yeah, in fact, this battle is already lost for them. I mean, this is already over. Like, from this position where you have both flanks, it's just... You
It's
can't stand.
definitely not looking good, but to be honest, like, with how little cover there is on this map, like, I don't think the AI is ever like truly out of it, just because you never actually get into a good position against him. You're just on the flanks. You're not actually like in cover on the flanks until like you get into the trees at the back of this map, like, and then like he doesn't even have a chance, like, because he could get into those trees back there and like make it impossible for me to actually wrap around his flank on this side. If he like strung from that tree up to the trees, like at the flag, if he just strung a line, it'd be really difficult for me to break through that. But instead, he does something silly like just charge at everybody every time and get hit by like a bunch of cannons. Well, not a bunch of cannons, but enough.
Yeah, it's enough. And he's only 1 star. I mean, he has a bunch of 1-star units. That... Yeah, you're targeting... Yeah, I was going to say, you've got to take a flank shot on that 1 star, and
Yeah.
that just insta-routes him. And then everybody hits the second 1 star, and he won't be there long.
Nope. It's pretty straightforward at this point. And I agree with you that like the battle is won at this point.
It's just how many losses are you going to take?
It's that a player could potentially salvage it, but the AI, there's just no way they're going to salvage it.
No.
I don't like the fact that I don't have cover like anywhere. That's the part that's like super sketchy.
Yeah, and you're doing the right thing by like, let's just fall back with the guy he's charging after, and everybody else fires into the guy.
Yep.
Yeah, like.
And up front, you don't really want to get in a shootout with the unit in the woods because it's too far away.
Not.
It's too far away to shoot from the cover of the houses, and it's too good a cover to just march up to him. You want to slowly whittle away the guys that are on his flanks and stuff, supporting him, and then get some flank shots on him to finish him off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Killing off those skirmishers are annoying. I mean, those skirmishers are annoying. Skirmishers in general are just annoying, so.
Oh, especially on Legendary.
Yeah.
Terrible. Like on lower levels of difficulty, skirmishers are not that big a deal. But on Legendary, they can have sniper weapons. They melee better than infantry. I mean, they're way too OP.
Like one-on-one, like if they have 500 skirmishers and you had 500 infantrymen, they would absolutely wreck you. But usually 400 or 500 of them doesn't beat a 2,500 man infantry unit. Like if you're both like at full condition.
Yeah, I remember I was playing the Union my first time on Legendary, and one of his snipers got into melee with a full size. It was probably 1250, 1300 infantry. And what are his snipers? They can be up to 700 though, I think, can't they? So it was larger than usual. It wasn't 300.
I thought it was 500 that was the max.
Well, I think they can be oversized. I think that for us, but for them they can be oversized. So
maybe you're right.
He was probably around 500. He got into melee, and I was used to Brigadier General and Major General. And I thought, well, this is easy. Nope, my infantry unit routed. Fresh infantry unit. He crushed it.
Yeah.
And that just I wasn't used to that because I hadn't played Legendary before. Well, he didn't crush it. I mean, both units took losses, and I think he routed too, but that would never happen on Major General.
Right. But I mean, that skirmisher unit's also got 3 stars here. So if you're facing off against like a 1-star against a 1-star, both of you guys have pretty similar, like nobody has like either a perk choice or something weird going on. Usually it's going to be pretty much in the favor of the infantry unit, especially if you like get your charge off. If you don't get your charge off and they do, that can be another thing that can hurt you.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is on Legendary, you just get used to seeing so many 3-star everything.
Yeah. Countercharging is like really important in the rebalance. It's not quite as important in the UI mod or just the base game, but it can still make a difference in how good a melee encounter goes.
Yeah, actually, for the regular game, I haven't played the rebalance yet, but for the regular game, there are a lot of times where I'll just I won't hit the charge button because it just tanks condition. So because I know it's a long battle and I want this unit to do a bunch of things, I'll get 2-on-1 but not charge, and then condition doesn't go down, because once condition goes down, the unit doesn't do any damage anyway.
Right.
So you can just park 2 fresh units on top of an enemy unit and just grind it down to nothing over a fairly long period of time if you don't hit charge. But if you do hit charge, particularly if it's not a high efficiency unit or a high stamina, it doesn't have a lot of condition, it's fairly green, it's going to run out of condition and then be useless to you anyway. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
There are lots of times where better not to hit charge, and we're going to get more kills, do more damage, and the unit, after this fight is over, I'll still be able to do something with it rather than have to rest it for 20 minutes.
Right, which is sometimes the way it goes. Sometimes you just need that little bit of damage boost just to be able to break the enemy.
Oh yeah.
And that's the whole thing, that like, so that skirmisher charges in on you, and like you go, okay, I don't think I need to countercharge because I think I've got this. Well, by the time that you realize that you don't have it, it's too late to charge.
Yeah.
But if you had countercharged, it might have been fine.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to like go back and be like, well, like let's try it now with the countercharge, because you can't reload and charge in a short time span because your charge gets reset. And I mean, you're never going to set up that exact same situation again, and the next time you might win the melee because you got a cannon firing into the melee, or they have a cannon firing into the melee, and then you would just lose no matter what. Like,
yeah,
there's so many different factors to take into account that it's hard to know. Whereas in the rebalance mod, like, it feels like you do double damage whenever you countercharge. So it's like almost always the right thing to do is to countercharge, because charging is like half of your damage.
Wow.
In melee. And obviously the other half is just having the condition to melee. But yeah,
and I think in the vanilla game, it's more like you're going to rout the enemy, and particularly one-on-one, you want that additional issue, because you never want to lose at melee. All kinds of bad things happen. So if you're one-on-one, you want to charge to make sure you win. The most powerful thing you can do is get 2-on-1, and then you always have to be aware of, is the enemy firing artillery into this? Am I going to take a bunch of shots from all of the artillery right behind the line?
Of course, the UI mod changes that up a little bit. It reduces the strength of the 2-on-1.
Yeah, I figured it would.
A little bit. It's not like crazy amounts, but like instead of like, I think it's like you take 50% damage instead of taking 30% damage whenever you're 2-on-1.
Oh, okay. Because in with the UI mod, it's really powerful. 2-on-1 is almost guarantees
it's still very powerful even in the UI mod. I'm just saying, like, base game, it's even more powerful.
Yeah.
And it's even less powerful in the rebalance. Rebalance, it's almost all about how many men you have in the melee. So if you have 5k men in the melee against, like, so if you have a 5k unit up against 3 5k units, you just absolutely decimate all of the 5k units, because you might do, like, let's say 10 or 20% reduced damage for being 2-on-1. I mean, for being 2-on-1'd, but your unit does like the amount of damage that a 5k unit does to each of those units, whereas each of them only does the amount that each of them would do as a 1k unit, and 1k units just don't do the damage of a 5k unit.
That makes sense.
So, and also, like, so it can just feel really bad whenever you get into melee with like one 5k unit charging you, and you have like 5 units, and you're like, I should win this, and you just don't. And the way to do it instead is to send in like one 1k unit, let them like end their charge, or soak up a lot of their condition, because they lose condition based on the amount of time they're in melee, not the number of units they're in melee with. So you'd actually rather, as a melee person, if you're trying to melee, you'd rather be in melee contact with more units if possible, because that means you're doing more damage for the amount of condition that you spend. But conversely of that, so like throwing 3 units into a melee doesn't do you that much good, because they're still going to only lose condition at that same rate. So you want to like throw in 1 unit, grind down their condition, throw in 1 more unit, grind down their condition, and then you'll be able to charge them and kill them.
Yeah, and my guess is a lot of supporting fire too would be crucial to wear them down.
Supporting fire is it's a double-edged sword. I think he just upped the amount of collateral damage that happens too. So
so your unit's going to bleed. Like, I'm thinking, if you have a unit enemy unit that's 5,000, it's just going to wreck your line. You throw somebody in, he's going to take some losses. He's going to take a lot of losses, even friendly fire. But if you have enough fire going in there, because what I've seen about the UI mod is you have a unit of 5,000, but once that guy's completely exhausted and his morale is 0, he's pretty worthless. He's just a great big ball of something to shoot up or capture.
Right, and that's very true. Condition plays a lot bigger factor in the rebalance than in the UI or the base game.
Yeah, and it has a big factor here. That I'm looking forward to playing it.
Yeah, I've enjoyed playtesting some. That was a lot of fun being involved in that. I hadn't ever really been in a beta tester kind of thing. So it was interesting actually like giving feedback and like talking about things. And there's a couple times that I was like, I don't want to tell you what's wrong with the game because I don't want you to fix it. Because I want to be able to exploit this whenever it comes out.
That's what modders do. They take all our fun away.
But I ended up telling them about most of them. I mean, I ended up telling them about all of them. I didn't hold anything back. I really wanted to a couple things, but it just isn't. It's best for everybody if we get the bugs fixed, and a couple of them, the problem that I found actually led to fixing other problems that I didn't know was the actual cause of the problem, which is really good.
And these are probably problems built into the vanilla game as it was released.
No, these were mostly things that he did.
Okay.
But one of them was like that. He put in a thing where every time you shoot within like so much time, you lose stealth. And those stacks weren't falling off. So you would like, if you shot a bunch, then you would just have like 0 ability to hide.
Oh, okay.
Well, the enemy didn't have that happen to them because the enemy doesn't know to hold fire. It doesn't know to like be intelligent like that. So, and you can actually react to it firing at you and you can't see it. You can actually react. The AI doesn't react. So what had happened is there was this, he made it where you can only gain 10 stamina if you aren't close to the enemy or if you haven't fired recently. Well, he tied that fired recently to the stacks of that debuff for stealth. Well, those weren't falling off, so you could just gain infinitely. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So then whenever I told him about it, then he figured out what the problem was and was able to fix the other problem that we hadn't actually even figured out was a problem yet. And that's why that was one of the things that really made me realize that it really is best to just tell him even if it's painful.
Yeah. I was actually in the there was a long beta for Ultimate General before it was released, and I did that. It was the only time I've ever done it where I was part of a, providing feedback to the devs. And there were a lot of people who contributed a lot of time trying to get this refined. And kind of surprising when they said, okay, we're done now. And okay. But I guess we found a lot of bugs that were taken out, that they didn't get all of them, obviously.
Very true.
They should have kept supporting the game. But I think at some point, what people are going to play is going to be like the JNP rebalance mod.
Yeah.
It's going to be so good and so balanced that people are going to play that exclusively.
It is a lot of fun. I've been playing it on and off even after getting done with the playtesting.
Yeah, the question is it fun? I mean, is it addicting? Do you look forward to playing the next battle?
I do. It is a lot of fun. It's very different. You have to think about things differently. One of my biggest problems is that I just keep going, I feel like I'm losing too many men.
Yeah.
And I'm not, compared to what other people lose in the rebalance mod, but I feel like I'm losing too many men compared to what I'm used to in the base game.
Yeah. And you would, because, well, I've said this before, you have to compare the losses that you're taking not to your expectations of how you play right now, but to the losses that people used to take 2 years ago.
Right.
In the early days of Ultimate General, where they'd go into these battles and 20,000 would be a normal battle. I mean, and you go in and you lose 4,000 and you think it's a lot of men, but I'm comparing it to, the hundreds of times I've seen this played or played it myself, and the losses were 5 times greater. And everybody got those kind of numbers. So, yeah, what he's doing is he's kind of taking away all the things that drop down losses so that people are getting the losses. Like, we're going back to the days of you're going to go into this battle and your army's going to really take some hits. You're not going to get 20-1 in this battle.
Which makes sense. Like, really, some of those battles, like, I did way too good on.
Yeah, we all do.
I think there's,
and on Legendary too, and historically that just, it just didn't happen.
no, it couldn't happen.
The armies got on the battlefield and they slugged it out, and the losses were about equal, and you weren't going to get 10-1.
My best one on the was 37-1.
JNP?
No, on UI mod.
Oh.
No, there's a 47-1. First bull run, 47-1.
Yeah.
That's the one. That first bull run, the way I played first bull run, that broke first bull run. Straight up.
Yeah.
And
and those aren't realistic numbers.
No.
I mean, at some point we go, that's great, and then at another point we go, that's not what happened in the Civil War.
No. If it did, the Civil War would have been over the first day.
Yeah, that's...
If either side won at first bull run that easily, it would have been just the end of it.
Yes.
I just lost like 100 men on that 55. Ugh.
Yeah, this is what always happens at Seven Pines. It's a fun little battle. The enemy always ends up surrounded, and just shoot them to pieces, and it's just a question of how many we're going to capture. Give me the good guns. Because this guy should give pretty decent guns. At least Lorenz's.
I don't know what all they give here. I can't remember.
Shatter.
Should get several captures pretty quick here. So I'm charging the general, because if you charge the general doesn't get captured. So it's more likely to like actually be able to like charge through.
Oh, good idea.
While still letting you do the whole thing where you don't fire at the enemy on accident while moving forward, because you're charging at the time. So
well, the problem is you hit charge for an enemy unit, it surrenders, then it unsurrenders, and you have to wait to recharge. So, ooh, man, that's lovely. Look at all those captures.
Yep. And then I'm worried that this guy's gonna like recapture all of his friends. And I'm just like, oh, this is gonna happen, isn't it?
Yeah, you have to tell your infantry units run as fast as you can on top of the guys who've been captured, so that they don't get recaptured. I wish there was a cooldown for that. Like, even if it was just a very quick 10-second count, so that they didn't get instantly recaptured, so you had some chance of keeping them.
I don't think he gets to recapture them, but I was worried that he would. So I'm I'm like trying to do all these things to like make sure he doesn't, but it was all in vain, like, because we got him.
Excellent. 1,400 and almost 20,000. Well, 17, 18,000. So, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it was a pretty nice battle.
Fun little battle.
There's at least 200 losses there that were totally unnecessary on my part. The 100 that I took right off the bat on that one unit, and then there was another 100 that I took from like 3 units open fire on my one unit standing like half in a river all at once, and it's like probably should have done something better with that guy. The the 55 there, lost 135 men. Like 100 of that was like right in one volley. Well, it was 3 volleys, three units volleyed him like at once. Capture the supply wagon. Captured 55s.
55s.
Almost a full unit worth, which is nice.
Oh, that's great.
And I guess the allied units had 55s as well, because that's where I got all the rescues too. So overall, not bad. A little disappointed with a couple of the plays in there, but I could have easily lost like those 200 men over the course of like several other little smaller mistakes. Or just the course of the battle. I could have lost those 200 men easy, and almost the entire rest of the battle was extremely clean, and there was only those 2 biggish mistakes, whereas everything else was almost perfect. Obviously you're never going to get through a battle with 0 losses. I mean, it's just impossible. So sub 700.
You surrounded him and captured him. It doesn't get any sweeter than that. It's the rest of it is just working out the tiny details.
While we were watching, I calculated up what my losses were, and it was 645
for your guys.
For my guys, after medicine.
Outstanding.
So it was definitely right on par with great. So now we will skip over and look at the army afterwards. Okay, so I went ahead and loaded it again so we can look at our army in person. So just calculating it up, 100 losses there, 200, 100. So
I don't have an image.
I forgot to give you the image.
Those units.
Okay, so now we got you.
Look how many at 2465.
Yeah. And only like 700 kills. Didn't get like a ton of kills in this battle for most of these units.
It's just a little battle. 1200. That's awesome.
14. Still overall good numbers. Pretty happy with it. Think we're going to go politics for the next two points, because we already have 7 army org, and that's plenty for the next major battle. You don't need reconnaissance, you don't need training, you don't need medicine, and you don't need economy unless you don't want to go politics. Medicine you don't need whenever you're taking this few losses.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You don't need medicine until you start to have a lot of good units taking a lot of losses. Before that, it's pointless. If you're losing 600 men and they're very low 2-star, it's not a good investment.
Yeah, agreed.
Like when you have a bunch of 3-star units, and you're taking much higher losses mid-game or toward 3/4 of the way through the campaign, then it pays off.
Right.
But before then, I'd say even economy is more important for the Union, because you're going to have to buy some weapons.
Yes.
You've got a lot of men that are on the way.
I do have a lot of men. Probably going to pick up the Springfield 55s. And that's pretty much it for this part. We can skip on over to the spreadsheet and put those numbers in. Okay, so we got all the numbers put in, and there's my losses. 642 losses. 1,460 before medicine with all the allied troops. 27, almost 28 to 1. Bringing that up slowly, 15 to 1 on the thing so far.
You need 3 to 1 to win the campaign, so I think you're doing okay.
Yeah, just okay. Just okay.
Yep.
I do have yours pulled up as well. You got 9 to 1. Good results.
10
right
to 1
there.
is the gold standard,
Yeah, but I mean, you're right there. Yeah.
9.7.
By the time you get done with Malvern Hill, I mean, you're still above 3. You're at 5.3. That's still really good. Obviously, I get to use all the things that you did and all the things that I do and combine them all together, and I just get the best of both worlds. I get big units, I get detached skirmishers helping me out, I get all the strategy that you have. Like, I just get
Yep,
to
that's
push it.
innovation, man.
Yeah.
The game just keeps innovating more and more. It's absolutely wonderful to see.
And I know it's a dead horse, but that percent losses, that's where it's
That's
at.
huge. Yeah.
You always, whenever it comes down to it, if you can lower your percent losses, you just come out ahead. It's just all there is to it. You want to maintain your experience while training up troops, and the way to do it is percent losses.
Yeah, and that's 4% for those who can't see on their.
Yeah, 4.28%. Oh wow, yeah, that might be tiny. I hope it's not too tiny. I should probably zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes I watch on a small screen and then I can't see the numbers. So I'm assuming other people do too.
There we go. That's probably much better.
Gonna be easier to see.
Does it? Yeah, it tracks over the different ones. Good. But yeah, so Seven Pines, good results. There's a couple hundred losses there that I probably could have done better, but there's just, that was like my first time running it. And I was just like, this result, yeah, I mean, good enough. So
yeah, it's a fun little battle to grind some XP, get some weapons, and yeah, if I remember correctly, the side battles feel easy, and the grand battles in the Union campaign feel very challenging up till Malvern Hill.
Yeah.
So actually, the early Union campaign is my favorite, up through Antietam. I really, really enjoy playing the Union camp because it has a level of challenge, and yeah, it's fun to build the army.
I've liked the major battles, but almost all the minor battles have been mostly disappointing.
Oh, really? I enjoy them. I like Seven Pines, and
Seven Pines is just so easy, though.
Yeah, I know. It's fun to go in there though and just pound on the enemy, and after Shiloh, it's just.
But like, after Shiloh on the CSA, yes, what is it? Port Republic is super easy. But first Winchester, if you don't do it right, that's actually a challenge.
Yeah.
Like, if they fall back into the city and like you have to like dismantle them in pieces or you just get wrecked. And then Cross Keys is just a lot of men on the field. Wait a second, I've got that off. Cross Keys, this one. First Winchester, I actually lost more men at First Winchester, but still, like, everybody had problems at Cross Keys. Like, nobody wiped out the army until I did. Because you don't have enough time, but yet there's so many men on the field. 29,000 men. I know that's not like crazy numbers, but unlike this battle, where, I mean, what are you facing here? 19,000? Like, the battles are just bigger on the CSA side, and I guess it's the same as this one. But I guess I felt more challenged. I don't know what it is about it.
The CSA side?
I felt more challenged on the CSA side.
Yeah, I felt the early campaign in total was much easier on the CSA side. It just did not feel hard. Whereas the Union campaign has just an intensity to it, I felt, through Malvern Hill. But you're going to make that actually easier by taking recruits. Because, I mean, at a certain point, you don't need to do that, but through Malvern Hill, you kind of feel like you need more men.
But I mean, Seven Pines, Rendezvous, and Secure River, like, I don't need men. I need slots to put men into, because I can't even bring... I can bring 6 units to Seven Pines, like 8 to Rendezvous, and like, what is Secure River, like 10?
And I think it's Secure River that has the really short timer, so you have to
12.
game the timer to be able to fight for any period of time. And then you go to Gaines's Mill, and that Gaines's Mill and Malvern Hill are 30 each one.
Yeah,
30 units.
I did wipe out all the units at Secure River. That was fun. I really like Secure River. So maybe
Yeah,
maybe I'll take it back. Maybe the fact is that like Seven Pines is a lot like the one where you can just like ambush them on the side of the map and it's really easy. And then Rendezvous is a little bit tougher and it kind of pulls you in several different directions, which is interesting, but once you know what those directions are, it's so easy. Isn't that right? Where you start off in the center and then they spawn on like 4 sides, 4 different places. Isn't that Rendezvous?
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then Secure River is just like
That's the timer.
you have to do the attack that the Union had to do against you at the other one, the harder one. Now you have to be on the offensive, but I found being on the offensive to be easier because then I didn't have enemies spawning in weird places and like ruining my plans. Like this is just like I'm a shark and you're a guppy and you're dead. Like that's it. Over.
Yeah, I think the only thing bad there is the timer. But
I mean,
all of that is prep to get you to Gaines's Mill and Malvern Hill.
Timer's not that bad.
And I thought, I don't know, I just thought when I was playing the CSA campaign, I got through Malvern Hill and I remember thinking, this was easy.
I mean, it was my first, so maybe that's part of it, is that like you already know everything. You already know all the basics. You've watched like 3 different people play the CSA campaign. So, I mean, it's obviously going to be easier. And then for me, like on this, I've already beat the CSA campaign. And I already know how to fight my units. I already know how to gain all the experience I can. I already know how to make the biggest units and make them work. And big units breaks the game in a lot of ways because it does not scale enough. And even if it does scale fully to 3,000 man units,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because there's only so many men that the enemy can bring, and they don't get more units. So they get 3k units and I get all 2k units, 2.5k units. I'm just gonna win. Like I've got the tactics, I've got the skills, I've got detached skirmishers. I can teleport my units across the map if I need to. Like if I needed it, I could do anything.
Well, and when you first start playing, it's, oh, I want to scale the enemy down. But after you play for a while and you become experienced, it's like, I want the enemy to bring as many as possible because that's just more kills and captures.
And more fun. Army. It really is more fun to face more men to me. Like, Panda does it more like, what can I get away with? How small can I go and still win? And I'm like, how big can I get away with? Because I think it'd be more fun to face more men. And I kind of understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, I just have fun. It's just so much fun to see what you can do, see how you can push the game.
Well, I think that the big difference, and if you haven't experienced this, you will. In the Union campaign, every single loss you take, you don't feel it as much because so many men are going to be put into the pipeline. It doesn't hurt you that much. So nothing is affecting you for Richmond. But every loss that you take in the CSA campaign, you feel because you know it's going to come back to bite you for Washington. Does that make sense? So, I mean, like, there's a limit to how big your army can be at Washington. And if you take losses, you can't recover from that. It's going to be, it just drops your overall army size. The Union campaign, you get so many men, it just doesn't matter. You're going to have a monster army at Richmond, and the enemy's not going to have a chance.
Yeah, I didn't feel it too much on my CSA campaign, but that's because I went like full training. I mean, full politics, like right off the bat, and then went full into buying all the men I could, and I struggled to even field them all while fielding artillery units. Yeah,
that's the challenge for the CSA is you have to spend rep for men. In the Union campaign, I played many campaigns where I never ever bought men with reputation.
And you also said that you didn't even put any points in politics.
No, in fact, my Union campaign, I'm pretty sure I put no points into politics, and I might have at the end because there's nothing else to invest in. And I'm sure I made no reputation buys for men. And my major general campaign was the same way.
Yeah.
It's just you just don't need it.
No.
But the CSA campaign, you do. Manpowers and
I don't know.
cash.
Like, I think I could have won without
Maybe,
any
yeah.
rep buys.
Yeah, I like the rep buys though for the CSA campaign.
I'm not sure if I could have won with like 0 politics and no rep buys.
That would be a challenge.
I'm not.
You can definitely win the Union campaign without any rep buys and any points into politics. Easy.
That was another challenge that I thought of. No points into anything but AO and like reconnaissance.
Yeah.
And the only reason you put them into reconnaissance is just because why not? Like,
yeah.
Oh, I guess training. So you put points into training, like, because you can do like 7 training start and never buy a vet the entire game. So you put 7 points into that, and that gets you 2 AO, 1 recon, and I think that's it. And then try to beat the campaign, only adding points into AO and then points into, you can add a couple points to recon. Why not? Like, then you get to see the bar up at the top, and it's more interesting fun to be able to see that bar. Is basically all it is.
Yeah, it's a quality of life thing.
Yeah,
I like it.
It doesn't actually give you that much power.
I enjoy like just looking at the bar. So
yeah,
I recognized early that it's something that I enjoy doing, so I always have 4 in recon.
And I mean, I would put 4 into recon, but recon is so bad that I just can't do it.
Yeah. Well, you want 2 in recon if you care about scaling, but if you're building all your units at 2,500, then you don't care about scaling, so you don't need 2 points in recon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it doesn't do anything for you at all.
It doesn't.
Literally does 0 for you.
At 2 points. At 4 points, maybe.
At 4 points, you can see the bar during the battle, and that's, I mean,
interesting.
You can look at it. You can see how many men the enemy has. You can see how many guns he has if you wiped out his artillery. It's handy.
You can see when they spawn in.
Yeah, yeah. And I use it for that.
Yeah.
So
and there's some perks, but I mean, I have to put 4 points in before you get anything. I just I struggle.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, we have podcasted on long enough here.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
So
we'll see you guys in the next one.
So thanks for the invite, and thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.
Bye. Well, this has been a blast. Hope you guys have had as much fun as I've had. I'll see you again in the next episode. You guys have a good one,